A warm welcome to Alan's Allotment, guys. If it's your first time on here, please do consider hitting the subscribe button and the little bell icon on the right. And every time I put up a new video, you'll be alerted. This channel is a bit of a mixed bag. We have rare-coloured racing pigeons, we have racing pigeons, we have fantails, we have a no-dig growing area that we transformed, and we have a polytunnel. We also do several DIY projects on this channel, guys. Not all of them are successful, some are a complete disaster, but follow me along and you'll see. It's no holds barred, basically. If I make a mistake on these videos, you get to see it in all its glory and you get a laugh at my expense. I don't mind, and I hope you enjoy the videos, guys. To all my subscribers currently, a massive thank you as always. And as I say, if you're new here, guys, please do consider hitting the subscribe button and the little bell icon on the right, and that would be much appreciated. I'll see you later, guys. Morning, guys. It's Saturday the 25th of July 2020. Wow, the year's already flying in, isn't it? Right, I just want to start today's video by saying that over the last 5 or 6 videos you'll have noticed some slight changes in the format of the videos. This is basically me playing around with the video editing software that I'm starting to get to grips with. It's only just starting. So I'm hoping to try and improve the viewing experience for you guys. I look back on some of the very first videos that I created, and wow, they're horrendous, aren't they? I even had a good old chuckle to myself at just how bad they were. Anybody finding those for the first time are going to just browse away and they're never going to subscribe, so I'm hoping that they don't find the earlier videos. So you'll notice, certainly in the last 2 videos, I have now created myself a collage picture, basically. As a bit of a way of making an identity on YouTube. Now, like I said, this isn't the be-all and end-all of everything. It's to try and help you guys, the subscribers, to quickly find me or any videos that you think you might have missed. And by seeing this signature image, basically, you'll hopefully be able to locate my videos a little bit easier. And that's how it's going to be going forward, guys. Now, there was several hours work went into creating that static image, but it has a text field as well that I'm able to change and change the text to give you a brief oversight of what the video contains, and hopefully that will attract new viewers as well. There might be something in there keyworded that a particular individual is searching for, maybe when I'm doing one of my DIY projects on a particular thing. It might just be of some interest to them and drag them towards my channel, and hopefully they might find it entertaining and in some cases useful as well. That's the whole idea of this, guys. And it is a massive thank you to all my subscribers. I have 50 now. I have lost a couple. I'm not sure why, but I think they would just want to exchange links. But hey-o, it's no big deal. If they want to watch my videos, they can watch them. If they don't want to watch them, they don't have to watch them. I'm not forcing anyone. It's your own choice, guys. And like I say, only subscribe if you're going to find something useful on this channel. So yeah, that's the start of this video, guys. So basically, I've been learning a few more video editing skills. I've still a long way to go yet, but hopefully I'm improving the quality of the audio, the video. And it's a bit more pleasurable to watch than it was in the early days. So I'm not sure, I don't think I've put this video up yet as of today. I did put a couple up last night and spent several hours editing those and then put those up. But there's still another one to go up, and I think in that one I was showing that I had made the decision to cover the entire beds in the polytunnel with lime. And I've scratched that in, and then I've been watering the plants a lot more through the week. And the reasons for that is because the little cherry tomatoes, and I think I said in one of the last videos, was still rather bitter. And I haven't pulled them off or cut them out yet. I'm going to give this one last chance to see if it is something that's in the soil that's causing them to taste bitter. So hopefully by addressing the beds with the lime, extra water, let them do the uptake, give them a week or so to do that, and hopefully that's going to improve the taste quality of the tomatoes. The only drawback to this, of course, is, and you'll see in a minute, guys, is that as a result of giving them a bit more water and watering a bit more frequently to get that lime down in the soil, it's a very quick acting ingredient, by the way, is lime, and it rectifies the soil very, very quickly. But I'm hoping that the plants are taking up the beneficial nutrients from the lime. But you'll see in the videos, as a result of doing the extra waterings, which I didn't really want to do, but didn't have a great deal of choices, it's actually causing the tomatoes to split a little bit now. So some of the tomatoes are starting to split on the lower trusses. And that is quite common with when you have a set pattern to watering, and then all of a sudden you start to give them more water more regularly. It just causes tomatoes to split. So just for information on that one, guys. One, it's an observation, and two, my father-in-law has informed me of this. So his knowledge is being extremely invaluable to me, and I hope I can pass on this to you guys. Also, what I didn't video, but I did do, where the turnips over in the growing area are really, really suffering. You know, we lifted one or two and put them in our experimental bed. I haven't been over there today, by the way, guys. I'm going to go over there and have an inspection later, and I'll bring you along. But I've put lime, I scratched lime in between those plants the best that I could, and put a fair oak coat on there and around the runner beans and around the peas that's climbing up the trellises, and around the courgette. So I'm hoping, and I done that sort of, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday of last week, and we've had quite a bit of rainfall since, and as I said, we scratched it into the surface, and we had quite a bit of rainfall since. So I'm hoping that that has got that in there, and it does end up giving some benefit to those plants. I think they've basically had it, but you never know. We'll again, it's an experiment. Lots of experiments on this channel. Right, guys, I'm babbling on again. I'm going to have this cup of coffee, and then I'll bring you along, and we'll catch you later. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye. Right, guys, I just came round here to do a quick check on the strawberries, and everything's still all fine in here. These actually produce quite a bit of fruit, these now, and they are still putting out flowers, and they are still producing fruit, as you can see. Now, I did have one, as I said earlier. I took some, this one here, by the way, is a recently propagated runner. Now, I'd set up another plant here to start putting the runners into this pot, and there was two in there. But something has been up here, I don't know what, and has stripped every bit of foliage off this particular plant and chopped it right down, and the strawberries and the leaves and the foliage and everything are all just lying down there on the ground. I've never seen this before, and I don't know what's doing it, whether it's a mole or a vole or a rat or a bird or a crow. We really don't know. So I don't have any cameras around here, so I can't actually see what caused that damage. But on a positive note, it's even severed the actual runner itself. But thankfully that one there has actually took root. So if we lose that one, we might have one saved from this particular one. Now remember, these are all F1s as well, these guys. So yeah, the fruit that comes off these are really nice. Now this is one of the Roman. I only had two of these left, as you know. So we propagated one here, and I think on the back side of the label, yeah, you can just see there. So that was a Roman that we propagated off the other plant that we had left. But it is also going a funny colour, and I've kept it separate from the rest now, because I'm not sure if it's just that one plant or it's something to do with the breeding of these. However, this one was green and healthy until something decided to chop it a bit, and the this one here is actually getting established, and it's even put out a flower already, a stalk with flowers on. So anyways guys, that's the first observation as soon as I walked round the corner. So I'm just going to take you in the polytunnel now and give you a look and see what we've done in here. Right, so the first thing you'll see is we've got lots and lots of these little cherry tomatoes, plum tomatoes that are really ripe, and you can even see some of the bigger ones are ripe now. Now I did say in an earlier video, it might be the one I haven't put up yet, that one of those actually fell off in my hand when I was checking it for texture, and I decided to do a taste test on it, and it wasn't that bad. So yeah. Also, since last time, you'll see the cucumber has come up here, and we're now starting to train it up towards the centre of the roof, guys. Already had a good few cucumbers off this, and we still have another 2 really nice cucumbers on there, guys, which are going to get picked today, and then give it a chance to start and put something into these smaller ones going up the plant. So you can see we've got a lot of nice, really nice ripe tomatoes on this plant, but as I said, they tasted extremely bitter. But I just wanted to show you what I mean by when you start to change the watering on these plants, guys. So you can see there now, that one there is split. It is the only odd ones, but that is a sign that you suddenly changed the watering cycle on your plants. And it usually happens only on the bottom truss. So we can afford to lose that entire bottom truss. I ain't too bothered, because there's lots and lots of tomatoes on this plant, and if we can salvage them by rectifying the soil and they start to taste a bit more edible, then that's a small sacrifice in my book, guys. Likewise, you can see these are still going strong even though we've topped them, and some of these bigger ones now, the Shirleys, they're also starting to ripen up nice now. So we'll be picking a couple of those today, guys, and we'll do a test. I know it's early days, but you'll see all the lime still sitting on the top of the beds here. Oh, by the way, that's just a plant I pulled out earlier. But yeah, the lettuces, they're starting to get past the best now, guys. We're probably going to pull these out, most of them. Any that looks like that anyways, guys. I already have pulled one out from where that plant is lying over on the ground. But again, you can see these are ripening up nice, but again on the back tomato there you'll see a little bit of a splitting across the top of that bottom one, and that's down to the extra watering, guys. So we're going to just back off on the water now and leave them to their own devices. Now you'll see these 2 little cucumbers that we planted. Look at the size of these things now already in just a week. Really thriving. So we'll get some strings up here now, guys, get some strings on here, and we'll get some strings round those to get them started. You remember we left this plant in here so the bugs could have a good old pick at that, because they were leaving everything else alone. Starting to go to seed now, guys, so we're going to pull that out as well. And then likewise we've got these lettuces, they might just be getting pulled out along with these onions now. They're finished, guys, they've all fell over. And again you'll see splitting on the tomatoes on the bottom, but again, like I said, I don't mind losing even an entire truss off the bottom, because there's still loads and loads of bigger ones up the top, and it just goes on and on and on. If we can save the plants and get an edible commodity out of it at the end of the day, that's all that matters. You see the cucumbers are starting to bulk up on this other secondary cucumber as well, by the way, guys. It's still only slow going, this one, for growing wise. It still hasn't even reached the top. It's got quite a bit to go yet, as you can see. Not sure why, but it's due another wrap around the string. And one thing you will notice is no butternut squash on here anymore. I decided midweek that enough was enough, and I've cut them off. And this is now not throwing out any female flowers, so it's a waste of space. That's probably going to be coming out of here today, guys. The onions conversely are doing amazing. They're probably going to get harvested as well, or a good portion of those. Butternut squash still going strong on there. These ones are even better, and they are dropping down, so we're going to leave them. But then from this tight point here, there is no more females came along on that branch, so we're probably going to cut that out as well. You can see these now are all starting to canopy out again. That I said I was going to leave the suckers to come on here. As you can see, they're quite a size now. So we're going to leave a canopy. We're going to leave that to thicken out and grow now, guys. And it does appear to be making a difference to the size of the tomatoes now. They are starting to bulk up, and one or two a little more. So we've now got a few on here as a result of that. Food for thought, guys. And yeah, still only very small on this one here, but this has split itself into two branches, and I've only just stopped. Well, I've stopped that one there, but it's decided to grow again. But I took out the tip, so it's just a branch. This one's topped now, this one here, and the end of that stalk there one's topped as well, and then it should start putting stuff back down into the actual tomatoes themselves. My peppers, as you can see, guys, quite a few of them on there. Still green. I'm not sure what this variety is even meant to go red or not, guys, but yeah, likewise, and again likewise. Quite a lot of peppers on there. Starting to get some on these ones as well now, guys. I still haven't topped them yet, but I should do. And then, as you can see, the chilli plant is it's really doing well. This is one that I bought in recently. As you remember, they sent me the wrong order, but it's doing quite well, this one. The other two are doing nothing, absolutely nothing. And these are the suckers, guys. Look at the size of these things now, and they're throwing trushes all over the place as well. We have actually stopped these very early on. That one there is actually stopped now, and you can see there's still quite a bit to go, but we've stopped it growing up here, just to see if we could get it to put some fruit onto the trusses it has produced, and as you can see, it has. And then we've got another one here that we stopped at this point here, guys, and it's now starting to put a few little tomatoes on. And then again, likewise with this one, and we haven't stopped this one yet, but this is the only one that's going to be left to grow to the top of the string. And our aubergine, as you can see, we're now getting flowers on that in abundance, and that seems to be doing quite well, guys. For a rescue plant, we'll just see how this turns out, guys. But yeah, so far so good. I know people have already had aubergines off theirs, but this, in fairness, I've only just got this, so yeah, there's time yet as out. Right, so that's just a quick update in here, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the little tour. I'll see you later. Right, guys, we just had a visit over here in the garden now, and a quick look around, and you can see that the leeks appear to be getting established now, and they've got themselves rooted. Yeah. So the leeks appear to be getting established now, guys, and so far, fingers crossed, they're still okay. Now, I have been watching the cameras, as I say, periodically, and I haven't seen any birds in here yet, but that's not to say that I've missed them. But yeah, they seem to be coming back. If you remember in an early video I showed you there was nothing left of this one here, basically, and that's now making a comeback as well, guys. Likewise with this one, but some of them did get a bit of a bashing, but they seem to have recovered now, guys, so thankfully that's good. yeah, the Ep80 have recovered now. Moving on to the other bed that we lined down, and as you can see, the little cucumber still isn't doing brilliant, but it's still alive. But it looks like there's a bit of a slug or a snail had to go at the lower leaf. I'm not sure what that is, guys, but yeah, possibly. I don't want to put slug pellets down in here, obviously, until I get a cover over it. But you can see that the peas now are actually putting some pods on there for the few that we have got grown. But yeah, and these are the ones that are planted in front of them, and they are also making a start and an effort now, guys, and they are starting to come too. So as you can see, one of the cauliflowers at least has been pulled. So the birds are still reaching over, obviously. Another one there still okay. This one here appears to have had at least one branch snipped off. That one still appears to be okay. That one there looks like it's been decimated, but it is pulling back again. And this one here looks as though it's been picked at as well. So it's not foolproof, this, guys. The cucumbers are making an effort. As you can see, we've got one bad leaf down the bottom. That could have just been because we planted a bit low. But it was a bit pale when we put it in, but not that bad, but we'll pick that off. And likewise with this, we've got a lower leaf, and the lower leaves, just getting them off just stops them deteriorating, attracting slugs, guys. So if you don't already know that, I'm sure you do. Runner beans, see the colour on these now, guys. Now they're still not perfect, but they certainly look better than they have in any earlier videos. Certainly on this side of the bed. Now, as I say, I did try to get lime onto these, onto the surface at least, and let it run in, to see if we could sort of salvage these in any way, shape or form. Now, the ones on the back side seem to be faring a little worse. However, they are also colouring up in areas, and they do appear to somehow have benefited from the bit of lime that we put in. And now you'll see between the turnips we have put lime in between all these turnips, just to see if we can't help. It was a last ditch attempt, guys, but we are going to get one or two little turnips. We've already had one that I showed you. We've got another one coming here. We've got another one coming on this one. They're all forming, albeit slowly. But let's just see if the lime does help. But a big transformation is on the courgette. New growth. Lots and lots of what are going to be courgettes now. Courgette on there. One on here. And another one here with the flower on the end. So this really does seem to have benefited from the bit of lime around it and the rainfall. And then likewise again, guys, we've scattered it along here, and these peas definitely seem to have benefited in some way from them. Now these are just the little flat peas that you just eat for the pod, but there isn't a great deal on them. There's one or two on, but not a massive amount. This side is faring slightly better. However, these ones are podding up. This must be a different kind, these ones here. These ones are actually podding up. I suppose if you leave them long enough, they will pod. But yeah, they will bulk up. One or two of them, these were struggling on this back side as well, but they are now starting to get the colour back. The red lettuce, something has been in here now and started having a go at these. Now I've left these basically as a plaything for the birds, and you can see they're getting really tall now, guys. They're starting to go to run to seed now, but when in fact there is a little seed head on that one there. but I'm not going to let them do that. They're going to get pulled, and they're going to get pulled out, and we're going to gain this bit of space back here, guys. So last week, you know, we had a disaster with this cage, but it's doing the job, as I say. And so these are the cauliflowers we put in from the father-in-law, and as you can see, they've got themselves established, and they're not doing too bad. They're looking quite well. So like I said, it's not a pretty thing, guys, but it is protecting those plants for the now. We're getting some quite sizable white turnips in there as well, guys. These seem to be doing better, but you can see the foliage is still not right on them. Now, I never got any lime on this bed because they're too dense. I just couldn't get in there with any lime. So I might pull a few of those little white turnips out as well, and use some of those, and then make a decision whether to strip this bed out as well, with the exception of the beetroot. I'd maybe try and get a bit of a scattering of lime around the beetroot, just to see if we can get a crop of those. They're a little bit further spaced, so we might just be able to do that. And then here's our experimental bed, guys. Have a look at this. Look at the size of these already. So this is now 2 weeks from transplantation, where they were absolutely decimated. There was nothing left of them. The caterpillars had braid them right back to one green leaf, more or less. And as you can see, guys, significant, lovely colouring in the leaves, and really growing. One of the turnips still has a red leaf, but it had two. It's now only got one, and it's actually turning green again. And it seems to, but turnips don't like being transplanted, by the way, guys. It was purely an experiment, just to see if we get anything out of them at all. But they do not like being transplanted, not when they get to this size anyways. And then this is another little cabbage. Again, there was nothing of it, but look at it now. And this braying around this leaf here. I'm maybe going to have a look in this bed, guys, and give these a check over, because I'm not sure if these are still from the damage when we first planted them, or whether something else. That looks fresh to me. Again, another one of the turnips. The red has almost disappeared completely off the end of that leaf now. Yeah, something is getting in here, guys. Look at this. Although no, actually thinking back on that one, this is a Brussels sprout. That one was a bad leaf, but it was the only one he'd had left, I think, and that's why he left it on for photosynthesize. But yeah, there's one or two of the lower leaves are decaying. I want to get them out, stop slugs being attracted. And these are the Brussels sprouts. Look at these now. And again, another turnip, and only a tiny bit of red left on that. And then, of course, there's the last three cabbages. These are the ones that were doing better. These were the ones that were in the top bed, where the snow globe turnips were, and they were better than anything else. But you see the discoloured. They didn't like the shock transplant, these ones, for some reason. And I haven't got round to getting the bottom leaves off them yet, but you can see significant growth on them. And look at this, guys. It's just a mass of foliage now. This is just, these are the cauliflowers that had a hard start in life. Look at the size of these things now, guys. Absolutely huge. This bed is just a massive vegetation now. These are the Aldi cauliflowers planted next to it, followed by the purple sprout and broccoli. Just try and get in here and let you have a look. But you can see the size of these now, guys. Everything, touch wood, fingers crossed, and everything else are looking amazing, guys. These now are even overtaking the size of the kale, and the kale is still doing remarkably well. Now, these little heads on these kale, by the way, guys, I'm being told by the father-in-law you can eat these as well. These are the Chinese kale, guys. But you don't need them to get much bigger than this. and I took a couple of these down in an earlier video, as you'd seen, and Louise, my wife, said she thoroughly enjoyed them. I'm not a lover of kale, but I might actually just try this. She says they're not as strong as your normal kale, and they're quite nice. But I like vegetables cooked soft. I know that's not the best way, but that's how I like them. So I might just try one and see what I like, guys. Either way, we can say we got a harvest out of these, because they don't get much, well, we don't want them to get much bigger than that. They'll be much sweeter at that size. So we're going to start harvesting all of these out of here now, guys. So yeah, seriously impressed with this bed, guys. Now remember, these were planted straight into a potato bed. I'd done nothing with it. We didn't add anything. We didn't add lime. We didn't add fertilizer. We didn't add nothing. We simply just raked over the pigeon manure and the little bit of wood chip that we had protecting potatoes, and then we just compacted the bed back down again, guys. And then we planted these, and that's the result. Now I know this is an experimental bed on the end, but I'm going to guess there's every possibility that I could have expectations of these, or some of these, being as good as that in 2 to 3 weeks, guys. I really do believe. I just need to get in there and check and see if there is anything else in there, or whether that is fresh. Something's attacking them. I need to get this cover off and have a quick look in there and see what's going on in there, guys, if anything. Alright, so that's just a quick tour around the garden, guys. I never did get these potatoes pulled back up, but I'm going to try and do that today, guys. Right, enough babbling again, and we'll catch you later, guys. Bye. The length of this grass again, guys, already. We only cut this 2 weeks ago. With all the rain we've been getting, it's just been grown back like wildfire. But the ground is just too sodden to be able to get the lawnmower out and do anything about it. Anyways, so we've just been doing a little bit of trimming down and harvesting, guys. So we've got a little harvest here. So this is what we've managed to get out of the garden so far. Well, we've had harvest since about May, sorry. And we've been getting little dribs and drabs, but this is probably, other than the potatoes, this is probably the biggest harvest in one go. So we've got quite a number of onions there. Some more rhubarb. We've had lots of rhubarb this year. Got 2 really nice, really big firm cucumbers here, guys, and as I said, these were lovely and sweet. And then we've took a couple of these little peppers off. They say these are bite-sized pepper. At least that's what it was according to the label. They do look a bit like a chilli, but I'm being told they're a bite-sized pepper. At least the label tells me that. And then you'll see we've took a lot of these little cherry tomatoes, plum tomatoes, after all. Now the reason for that is it's only the lime's only been out on that bed since I think it was Tuesday last week, and I've had 3 or 4 I've had a watering every night, but I'm now going to stop the watering again on this lot, because I can see 1 or 2 of the leaves on the cucumbers start to turn a little bit pale, which means that they're getting too much water. And I've had to cut 1 of the cucumbers off on the other plant because it was actually starting to go squishy on the end. Before it rotted back to the plant and killed the plant, I've cut it off. The other one's fine. So yeah, you'll see I've picked a couple of the bigger tomatoes as well now, guys. So curious to see how that goes. I have had 1 and they weren't bad. They're still not as sweet as they could be, but I think if I stop the watering now and let them intensify, they'll be fine. But they were certainly more edible than these ones. These are still a little bit on the bitter side. However, they have definitely sweetened a little bit since we put the lime down. So this is just the lower truss. We've just stripped that off, and even if they don't get eaten as salad tomatoes, Louise can make some chutney with these or something like that, or cook them. That will probably sweeten them up a little bit, even a touch of sugar or something, but that'll sweeten them up cooked. So overall, not bad, guys. Just a little update, a bit of a harvest. Right, I'm back in the polytunnel again now, guys, and I've had a bit of a clean down in here as well. So the first thing you'll notice is I've took those last 2 cucumbers off. That's 4 really nice cucumbers we've had off this plant so far. and it's putting them out at every single branch. And as you can see, this has gone up, and we're actually now starting to bring it over the string. So yeah, you'll see there's no onions left in the front of the bed. That's the onions we've just took and harvested. You'll also see all the lettuces are gone. Oh sorry, there's one there, but I still need to pull that. And basically what's happening, although they are hearting up, the slugs or something getting in there and they're just making them rot. So they're no good for anything now, guys. They're finished. But we had a really good long harvest off those lettuces. We cannot complain at all with those. And let me just see if I can show you what I was meaning about the too much watering. You see around the edge of this cucumber now, it's just and so starting to go pale. Now if you remember the butternut squash back in the day when they were going pale like that, it was because I was overwatering. And again you can see a little pale, and there's nothing underneath the leaf, so it's not insect damage or anything like that, guys. It's literally the paling of the leaf because they're basically getting too much water. And I found that with these, definitely about once every 4 or 5 days, certainly in this polytunnel, is more than enough. And because they've been getting it every night, they're telling me they don't like it. What it has done is it's encouraged the foliage on the tops of these tomato plants, so that's a good thing. So yeah, the onions have gone, the lettuces have gone, and will be when I pull that one out, and that's pretty much it. We've now got the 2 strings on these little 2 cucumbers, one in a straight up and one over towards this tomato plant. And what we've done is we've moved this tomato plant over that way a bit, and we've moved this cucumber over there a bit, and the last tomato a bit. And the reason you'll see, guys, is no more butternut squash. I made the decision to cut it out and pull it out. It was just taking up room, blocking light, and was being non-productive basically, guys. It did try, but on the main stalk, as I say, lesson learned. They don't produce on the main stalk, or if they do, they can't get out apparently. So that's according to the father-in-law. And it didn't put any further females out on this side, so what was the point? I made the decision, it's out. The other one is still here. Will I grow these again? No. Right guys, sorry guys, I'm going to have to go. I've got to get this phone call. Sorry guys, so yeah, just before the phone call came along, I was just saying, so hopefully we'll get 2 or maybe even 3 butternut squash off this one. And I am going to leave this one because it wasn't quite as intrusive as the other one. But what you'll also see is, again, it was putting out no further females. So I've basically chopped it off here. And that's pretty much it. We're not going to let it come any further, guys. We'll leave that bit of foliage on just for photosynthesis. Just to come back and feed these 2 butternut squash here. And that's pretty much it. I was just thinking, yeah, I've got some onions, a bunch of spring onions I can take down home as well, guys. So we'll get a bunch of those before I go as well. Right, so that's pretty much it. Update in the polytunnel today. But as you can see, we decided to make a sacrifice, get shot of that, clear a bit more space, give a bit more room for these cucumbers. I've also taken strings up, over and then down across there. I'm being optimistic, guys, that these are going to grow. Anyways, we'll wait and see whether they do or not. But likewise as well, for this one here that's already 3/4, I've made another and take it up and down the other side. That's the intentions. We'll wait and see what happens, guys. Right, I'm going for a cup of coffee. I've had enough. I'll catch you later, guys. Bye. Quick update in here, guys. And there's the indigo hen sitting on 2 eggs, and she's paired up with this yellow pied cock that's blind in one eye, as we've mentioned in an earlier video. And then we'll just have a little look through here, and you can see all the youngsters are all settled in now, bobbing in and out of the aviary, and really settled down and really growing strong. So yeah, just a little tour in here, guys. Little Trigonino is now flying again, as you can see. So what we have in here now, guys, is the two little browns that we took off the reduced hen and the brown barcock. And we brought the little brown that was in the other side through here, because one, it's a hen, two, it was the most placid, and we brought this one into here with these two youngsters to show you how to drink and feed. But these little brown checks have turned out really nice, and I'm not sure how well this camera's going to pick this up, but if you look at them carefully, you'll see that they have a cast on them, and they appear to either have a reduced cast over the brown, and they're both slightly different as well, guys. One slightly lighter than the other. It's either a reduced cast over the brown, and these will change again when they go through the molt, guys, or it's an opal cast. Now, because opal can be a shade of brown as opposed to pink, I'm not entirely sure whether it's the reduced gene or the opal that's given them this effect. Either way, they're really pretty youngsters, and yeah, so these are the only three in this section at this moment in time, guys. The two iced bars shouldn't be too long before they come off. That's off the ice bar hen and the barless cock. Again, I haven't been in there today yet to see whether they have actually now got the bars or not, but I have put another nest pan in for the hen to see if we can get it to go and lay again and try and get another nest out of her. And we might even try and get 3 nests out of it. As I say, she's the only one I have in that colour, so we'll try for 3 nests this year, guys. Okay, just a quick update, guys. I'll see you later. Right, guys, we're in the stock loft now, and as you can see, this is the reduced opal cock. And we gave them a mystery egg. We gave them 2 actually. One didn't hatch, as we knew it wasn't going to, but the other one has. And it looks to have a pink, very, very pink beak. Now, it'll be interesting to see what colour comes out of this, because these, of course, are not the parents. The almond hen and the reduced cock are not the parents. I've just been checking it to see if it's ready for a ring, guys. It's not quite ready for a ring, so we'll just leave that one for now. And then in here we've got the brown bar, the blue barless and the brown barless hen. And if you remember, these are, we pinched an egg off the white bar cock and the indigo hen, and I think I've missed this one. Right, guys, I'm going to just try and get a ring on this one. I'll come back to you in a minute. Right, guys, I've just tried to get a ring on this youngster and we've missed it. It's way, way too big. There's no way I'm going to get a ring on that bird without damaging it. So that youngster does not have a ring. It looks like it's going to be again either an opal bar pied or a blue pied, but again, I don't like this pied gening off this white bar cock. However, he has bred some bonny youngsters in the past. Right, okay, guys, I better check the other youngsters. Right, guys, so these 2 youngsters here are off the Qualmond and the opal pied hen, and there's 2 very different colours in this time. One very, very dark beaked and dark legged, and the other was very pink beak, but they are off this pair. Now, I've only just and so caught those with rings as well, and that was quite a struggle getting those on there, but we have got them on, guys, so that's a bonus. I don't know how I've overlooked these, and they've grew much, much quicker than I expected, guys. So this is the one that the old boy's looking after, and we did get a ring on this at an earlier date. It fell off and I had to come back and put another one on, and as you can see, it looks like it's going to be another almond. Now, if you remember, this is off the reduced cock and the almond hen. We should laid an egg on the grill and we floated it off onto here. and they're now sitting in those mystery eggs. So that one's fine and still got its ring on, guys. So I've just checked the Staff Van Reed hen here, and she has only got the one egg. She hasn't laid the other egg, guys. So yeah, after this, if this nothing hatches out on this one, I think we'll separate her and give her a rest. Now I'm also noticing the ice hen sitting in the new nest that I gave her earlier midweek, and I'm just going to give you the first look at these youngsters from this hen. And as you can see, guys, we've got two really pretty youngsters in here, and of course you can see they have got bars, but they'll be very thin, these bars, and the reason for that is because they are carrying the barless gene, and it makes the bar thinner. Now as you can see, this one's a lot paler than that one, and they come out with a dark beak and dark legs. Now that's obviously part of the ice gene. This one here is going to be really nice. They both are, to be honest with you, but you'll notice they've both got standard size beaks as well, unlike the mother with the short beak. So the short beak is recessive gene, so even the first cross will give you the birds with a normal looking beak. But you can see this is going to be really light, and even that is lighter than your standard blue bar. But more importantly, they're both carrying the ice gene now, guys, and yeah, they've probably got about another 3 or 4 days to go, and they can come off the nest, and then we can get all this cleaned out. As you can see, it's bone dry in here, guys. The birds are healthy, really healthy. So yeah, we'll leave them another 2 or 3 days and they'll be coming off the nest. Right, guys, so I'm just looking under the white bar cock here and his youngster, and that youngster has got a ring on, so I'm now certain that I did actually put a ring on the nestmate off the brown bar, off the brown barless and the blue barless cock, which is the nestmate to this one. They're both same size, because we took the egg off this pair to float under that. So I'm confident now that I actually put a ring on that youngster and it slipped off, and I hadn't realised and noticed it slipped off, and as a result it got lost. They usually end up down here under the floor, and as a result of that we've missed ringing it, and we're not going to get a ring on it without damaging that bird. So we're not going to do that, guys. We're not going to damage the youngster. It's not worth it. Just one youngster without a ring, no big deal. I also threw away the eggs off the 2 indigos, because basically they just rotted on the nest for whatever reason. They just went bad. Sometimes these nesting felts here do tend to draw too much moisture out of the eggs, and it's not a massive problem because it doesn't happen all the time, it's just occasionally. And I suppose it depends on the actual nest felt itself. And I'm also thinking now that that's what's happened with this hen here, because I've never had this hen have eggs and not rear youngsters. This is the first year ever, guys, but like I say, every year is different. You win some and you lose some, but there we go. And that just leaves us with the almond hen and the khaki cock, and I'm seeing an eggshell in here. So we're going to have a quick look in here, because it looks like these have hatched out now as well. As I said, these were the last 2 to lay the second lot of eggs. So it's going to, come on girl, come on, let's have a little look. Yeah, and they have indeed hatched out, guys, but they're still only a day or 2 old in there, guys. So we're just going to leave her to crack on with that, and we'll see what we get this time off this pair. This is the fun of breeding pigeons, guys. You get different colours each time, or more often than not. But let's see what happens, guys. I'll catch you later. Bye. Right, guys, as you can see, I'm back in the shed, just having a cup of coffee. So yeah, nothing major today. I'm just pottering basically, but a couple of good jobs jobbed. I'm going to have this cup of coffee, and then I am going to lash up those potatoes because they're doing me head in now. They're basically encroaching on the other beds now. I'm probably also going to pull out that first lot of cauliflowers. They never amounted to much. I'm going to cut off any good leaves that are edible and pick those off. And I've also discussed with Louise, and she'd said, well, look, if you're just going to throw the plants, you might as well cut off the little heads, and I'll boil them all together, and it'll make one meal, if nothing. So yeah, it'll be a taste, I suppose, because I've never tasted that kind of cauliflower. So and it does make sense. If we're going to pull the plants out, and rather than just dispose of them, let's just try them. What's the worst thing that can happen? They're manky and we don't eat them. I might just get pleasantly surprised as well, guys, which will give me encouragement for the new ones that we planted and see what happens. So yeah, I'm probably going to pull those out, cut off the small heads, take a couple of nice edible leaves if there's any left, and use those as well as part of the harvest, and get some lime down on that area where we pull those from. I might even pick one or two of the little snowball turnips as well. I know they're only small, but you don't take these very big. So I might pick the biggest of those just to thin them out a bit as well, so that it might allow me to get a bit of lime in between the others. So I might as well pick a couple of small snow globe turnips as well, if there's anything there of edible size. And then I don't know what else I'm going to do, but we'll just have a potter, guys. But we'll give you a quick last look around after we've finished doing what we're doing, and then we'll give you a final roundup in the shed as always, and that'll be it for today. So I'm just going to have this cup of coffee, guys, and then I'm going to get cracking again, and we'll catch you later. Stay tuned, guys. Right, guys, as you can see, we've finally got the potatoes lashed up with the length of clothesline to try and get back into this path here. Another thing about that is, because I'd let them get to that state and fall down, obviously it was very wet under there, and that would have been an attraction for slugs and beetles and all the rest of it as well, guys. So yeah, we've got them lashed back up now for the time being. That frees this path up a bit, and I'm just about to start and cut out these few little cauliflowers that we've got. There's not a great deal, and we might salvage one or two nice leaves to boil up as well, guys, but that's about it. As you can see, all the radish have just run to seed here now as well. We might get one or two out, and the rest will be in the compost bin, guys. Right, I'll crack on with this and I'll catch you later. Right, guys, quick roundup over here. I'm basically I've had enough. So all we've got left in here now are the carrots and the half a dozen onions that made it, and I'm not sure they are going to make it. Tomorrow we'll get this lime down. I've just threw the cover back over, temporary measure, just to stop the birds pulling these few little onions out and picking at the carrots. Like I say, I don't even think they're going to mount to anything, guys, but you never know. I just want to show you something in particular. So you can see these little snow globe turnips, especially when the potato foliage had fell over on top of this. It sort of darkened these out a bit, and the ones on this back side seem to be filling much better. And as you can see, one or two of them are, I'm going to leave them a little longer, but you can see some of them are quite sizable. But something I took particular note of, guys, and it's worth bearing in mind. We know there's something wrong with this bed, purely and simply because these are the broccoli we put in months ago. Besides the slug damage, that's the size of them, guys, and that's it. And they've been in there, I would say, a good 2 months, maybe longer, maybe touching 3 months. So conversely, these are the purple sprouting broccoli that we planted 3 weeks ago. So it's clear to see, guys, there was something sadly wrong with these beds in the first place. 3 weeks, 3 months. Yeah, something sadly wrong, guys. and all of a sudden I've got a big swarm of flying ants attacking me from everywhere. Right, so what I've done to, I've also stripped out the red lettuce out of here as well now, guys, and they're in the compost bin. I've also put this piece of aluminium wire underneath that courgette just to keep it off the ground, in case it does turn into something edible. Yeah, it's pretty, these beetroots should have also been almost ready for harvest, and they're just not really doing well at all. And I'm still in two minds whether to strip this bed out as well and actually seed into here with cauliflowers or cabbages or something, or autumn king carrot even, or something like that, but not until it's been limed down and settled down again, guys. Likewise, not sure, maybe dot those leeks in here, guys, that I've got left, that I got out of the garden centre. I've got maybe 20 leeks left or something. I might just dot these in here. I'm not sure yet. These beds aren't really deep enough to accommodate leeks, to be perfectly honest. So I don't know, we'll have a think about that one. Again, we might just direct sow some more onion or something like, I don't know yet, guys. We might even try a few direct sown turnips. Because I'm not going to hold my breath out for these ones, guys. Tomorrow my intentions are to get a netting covering of framing of some sort over this bed here. It doesn't look like it's foolproof with the birds, and as I say, they had pulled that cauliflower out over there. Whether it'll come back or not, I don't know. And they are reaching over and picking the leaves off these. Thankfully they haven't touched the cucumbers yet, guys, so I need to get this done tomorrow, hopefully, weather permitting. So my intentions tomorrow are get this netted, get this limed out, rake level and stamped back down again. I might even decide to take these hoops out of here and have a go at making another cloche, but this time with laths screwed into these plastic pipes, and make a proper frame that I can literally just lift in and out, but a much firmer one where the netting's all nice and tight and it's fixed. So it's a fixed frame. You don't take the netting on or off, you just simply lift the frame out. So I'm toying with the idea of maybe having to go at one of those tomorrow, guys, but I haven't made my mind up yet. So for today I've had enough, basically. We've got the potatoes tied back up again. Give that some air at that now to try and dry off a little bit. So what we've done is we took ourselves another couple of kale to go with our harvest, 3 little kale here, and we've took the cauliflower heads off the cauliflowers and a few edible leaves that were still okay. The rest have all gone in the compost bin, guys. Like I say, it's no wonder the father-in-law said, wow, you should have had the meat by now. He'd obviously had his eaten, and it's quite obvious the difference between these beds and where we had the potatoes down there, guys. I mean, look, you can see the foliage just through this netting. They've only been in there three weeks, 4 tops. These have been in since about, I don't know, end of March or something like that. And end of March. Yeah, they weren't long after the potatoes, so maybe mid-April. And we're now in end of July. And that's what we got out of them, guys, over there. A few little heads over there. Quite clearly something sadly wrong. So this year's just a learning curve. If you remember, everything was a mad rush over here this year. But when you go and look back on the videos, as I did yesterday, and had a good chuckle, when I think of the amount of work that went into this just to even get it to this stage, overall I haven't done too bad, and I'm not complaining because I have had some harvests. They're very, very mediocre. But it's a learning curve. Next year we should have it right. Once we get all this horse manure on these beds, and with the lime that's being dressed on there as well, and we'll put another little fine dressing next season before we actually start to grow. But it'll only be a fine dressing because they'll have already had quite a bit in there. We should hopefully have a different story next year altogether, guys. So this year isn't over yet, and there are still some winter vegetables. There's still cabbages and cauliflowers and Brussels sprouts we can get in, kale. winter onions. So yeah, there's still growing time, guys, and I can still get a harvest. And as I said, we can still get turnips in as well. It's not too late for turnips just yet, as long as I'm pretty quick about it. Right, guys, that's it. I've had enough for today. I was going to do a bit more, but I decided I was just sick of myself if I did. So I'll catch you over in the shed for a final roundup, and that's it, guys. See you in a minute. Right, guys, as always, I'm back in the shed for the final roundup, and I'm having my last cup of coffee. Right, so what did today teach me? Well, it taught me that those beds clearly weren't right in the first instance. But you've got to do it to see that it's not working and you've gone wrong somewhere. Likewise with the polytunnel, I'll get plenty of cow manure on there as well, and we'll lime down again, and then we'll dress all the beds down in winter covered with cardboard or plastic or whatever, just to prevent any weed through winter. So what we learned is if you don't do the job right in the first place, you end up with my results. It hasn't been a total loss, as you know. I have had some rewards from the garden and the polytunnel. A lot of it's been slow going, and it's been a hard learning curve this year because basically I'm just getting established again. And the ground clearly just wasn't right. And like I said, with hindsight, I should have prepped it all early in the year. But I had so much going on with the pigeons and the garden and the roof needing covered on the garage and guttering needing put up and new IBC set up, and I just had that. Well, you've seen from the previous videos, I've just had so much to do. It was an afterthought, and it should have been the first thought. So lesson learned. Next year, God willing, and I'm still here, it'll be a different story. And I'm looking forward to that with anticipation. And I'm still not going to give up on this year, to be honest with you guys. Like I said, so far, touch wood, the brassica bed where the potatoes were seems to be doing okay. And we're getting the kale out. So yeah. And the cauliflowers, purple sprout and broccoli, second round, seem to be doing okay in there, guys. Short of getting decimated by pests, then I'm hoping that we'll get a half decent crop out of those. We'll just wait and see. The experimental bed next to it as well, by the way, there's time yet. Maybe with hindsight now, looking back, to salvage the established plants might have been a good thing, but then again it maybe isn't, because they might have been stunted so early on in life they won't actually amount to anything anyways. And then again, they just might. We won't know until the end result comes along. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video today, guys. It's a bit of a mix of everything. We've tried to show you the pigeons, the growing area, what we've done in the polytunnel, a bit of a clean down, and just some of the things I've been trying along the way. Some work and some don't, and that's the whole point of this. I hope you enjoyed the video that I'm doing, guys, and if you aren't, well, you've always got a choice to leave if you haven't enjoyed them. Right, so as always, guys, stay safe, be practical, and keep yourselves out of harm's way. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do consider hitting the subscribe button and then the little bell icon on the right, and that'll alert you every time I put up a new video. For now, guys, thanks for watching, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.